This is a K2 Storm Tracker weather alert.
And that Storm Tracker weather alert because people in higher elevations are waking up to snow on this Valentine's Day, and that snow is impacting schools.
The Corbett School District is closed. The Battleground, Camas, Washougal, Woodland, and Green Mountain School Districts are all on a 2-hour delay. We have a complete list of closures and delays at the bottom of your screen.
And this is a live look from the Chevy Equinox Live Drive. K2 photojournalist Mike Warner is monitoring conditions for us on the roads right now. He's just one part of our team coverage of this quick blast of winter weather this morning.
Jackie Lebrecht is live in the West Hills monitoring conditions there, and Hannah is keeping an eye on the rest of the roads.
But first, let's check in with K2 meteorologist Rhonda Shelby.
Yeah, right now we are seeing most of the snow that fell 500 feet and higher on the west side changing over to rain, mist, and then just nothing at all. You can see the big hole in the radar there is not much is falling in Portland, Vancouver, but you folks that are waking up in places like Colton and Sandy and Estacada, snow on the ground, and it's going to keep coming for a little while longer as the front moves off to the east. So this is all only temporary as the snow is sticking at 500 feet and higher this morning. You're going to expect about 1 to 2 inches there. We're looking at temperatures starting in the mid to upper 30s. Temperatures already rising a couple of degrees since we started the show earlier. 44 by noon, daytime high 48 with scattered showers. But this will not be the only day this week. We'll be talking about the snow levels coming down this low. Ahead, we'll talk about that.
6:01 right now, your Chevy Equinox time saver traffic update. You may still see some slush sticking on those roads and higher elevations. So far, we haven't seen many traffic troubles in those areas. The one trouble spot we've been tracking all morning is this section of Southeast Powell, right at Milwaukee. You can see that truck that's still lingering in those eastbound lanes. The eastbound side of the road is still completely blocked. Westbound getting by, but you can see some brake lights stacking up as you do approach the Ross Island Bridge there. One other issue you should watch out for, eastbound 84, right after you get by the 82nd exit, there is a semi-truck that's stuck over on the shoulder. It's partially sticking out into that right lane, so watch out for that truck and possibly some ODOT crews heading out that way to help out this driver at this point. Now let's head out to the West Hills where K2's Jackie Lebrecht is keeping an eye on the roads out there. Jackie, the main routes are looking pretty good at this point.
Yeah, you know, Highway 26 looks really good. We just took a drive with the road that runs parallel from kind of here at Sylvan down to the zoo. It's moving along just fine. It's really just wet. But look at the shoulder here on this off-ramp. See that kind of slush layer? That's a good example of what you'll see probably on and off ramps. And if your neighborhood is heavily traveled, because a lot of people moving that slush layer off. If you're waking up in the West Hills this morning, my house is at 430 feet. We had this snow layer on our ground. So we're saying anywhere around 500 feet and up, you're definitely going to see that. Just remember, as you're going down the hill, especially if you're braking, don't lock in those brakes. Don't slam on those brakes. You want to get yourself in a low gear, kind of put a tap on those brakes, because that slush layer, you're going to see that on a lot of side roads. As for the weather this morning, dress for it. Remember, we're in the 30s. It's chilly out here. Don't wear thin rain boots, as I did this morning. It's cold, so make sure you dress for the conditions. Live here in the West Hills, Jackie Lebrecht, K2 News.
Thank you, Jackie. And remember, you can get Rhonda's forecast around the clock by using the K2 Storm Tracker weather app. It lets you check the 7-day forecast, keep an eye on live radar, and upload your weather pictures or video. It's free on the Apple app and Google Play stores.
6:03 now. Today, we could learn the name of the climber who died on Mount Hood yesterday. K2's Mary Lose is live at Government Camp. Mary, sheriff's deputies are waiting to release the name to make sure the family is notified.
That's what they tell us, and that was via their Twitter account. It was one of the last posts on that Twitter account last evening after all of the climbers, 2 separate small groups, were down safely off the mountain last evening. Mid-afternoon on Tuesday, Mount Hood was clear, making it easy for us to see those groups of climbers from Chopper 2. The larger group had been trying to traverse the Hogsback area when one of them fell 700 to 1,000 feet. Rescuers tried to help him on the mountain. Soon a rescue chopper arrived and airlifted him to Legacy Emanuel. That's where he was pronounced dead. The man's death resonating through the climbing community.
Most of us have been up there one time or another, and sometimes many times. So we know the area really well, and when you see somebody fall from a place that you've been, and when you know that it's somebody who's in your community, you can feel it, I think, much more viscerally.
The smaller separate group of climbers came down earlier in the evening by snowcat. Rescuers brought down 2 men and 1 woman who were with the man who fell. No one else in that group, that is, was injured. But that woman was in shock and barely able to move or speak. Now, everyone was safely off the mountain by about 8 o'clock. Investigators interviewed those climbers, trying to determine what happened and how that man fell. The experts that we spoke to yesterday tell us that yesterday the climbing conditions were good for experts, but likely icy as well, and even tough for those who are experienced. Again, we hope to learn the name of that man who fell later on today. From Clackamas County Sheriff's live at Government Camp, Mary Lose, KATU News.
All right, Mary, thank you. And the area they were climbing in, the Hogsback, is a notoriously dangerous part of Mount Hood. Last May, a Seattle man died after falling several hundred feet. In 2016, rescue crews had to help 2 injured climbers in that same area. And a year before that, an Idaho man fell to his death. In 2004, a man from New Jersey died after falling about 1,000 feet.
It is 6:05 now. We have some breaking news we've been tracking for the past hour or so. This is a live look at Fort Meade, Maryland, where police are investigating a shooting near the National Security Agency headquarters. A Fort Meade spokesperson confirms 1 person was taken to the hospital. Police say a suspect is in custody. They're searching for a black SUV, or they're searching a black SUV near a gated entrance for evidence right now. This is a developing story. We'll continue to update you as soon as new information comes in.
New this morning, Portland police are looking for the robber who threatened employees at a Northeast Portland store with a knife. Police were called to the Sally Beauty Supply store on 40th last night around 6:30. They say a man walked into the store, showed employees the knife, and demanded money. It's not clear how much cash he got away with. Thankfully, no one was hurt.
Let's take a live look now at Washington, D.C., where Congress is currently weighing a dire warning from the nation's top intelligence officials. They told a Senate intelligence panel they're already seeing signs of Russian meddling in the upcoming midterm elections. Director of National Intelligence Dan Coats even went so far as to say the U.S. is under attack. The stark assessment comes amid multiple investigations into Russian meddling in the 2016 presidential election. Some lawmakers believe President Trump is complicating efforts to stop it.
It's remarkable that you've got all the leaders of the intelligence community, yet you still don't have the President of the United States acknowledging the level of this threat.
All intelligence agencies say they are doing their part, but it appears no single agency is in charge of responding to the Russian cyber threat.
New at 6, they're calling it Blue Apron for people who use food stamps. The Trump administration is crafting a plan to deliver food directly to nearly 40 million people who rely on food assistance. The USDA America's Harvest Box would be filled with staples such as milk, fruit, grains, meat, and pasta. The White House claims the program would save nearly $130 billion over 10 years. Food stamp recipients would still get about half their monthly benefit on an electronic card that can be used at local grocery stores. Also new at 6, the Human Access Project is inviting people to take a Valentine's Day dip in the Willamette River to celebrate a major milestone.
And this is an opportunity to celebrate Bureau of Environmental Services in the Big Pipe, because it's been 115 consecutive days in the wintertime. I think this is a record of most consecutive days in the wintertime where there has not been a sewage overflow.
If you're interested, meet at 10 o'clock at the Willamette Park boat ramp off Southwest Macadam. An on-site sauna and coffee will be provided to help swimmers heat up. People who participate will receive 2 free tickets to the big float. Couldn't this have happened yesterday? It was so nice yesterday afternoon, Rhonda.
And a sauna, too. That's awesome. 6:08, weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We issued a storm tracker weather alert due to the snow in the hills. And I got the cutest picture this morning from my friend Veronica in Colton. Take a look at Angus in the snow, checking things out this morning. He even has his little coat on. Cute St. Bernard. I said little, but I guess a big coat. Angus is very cute this morning. Colton getting hit hard this morning with some snow, about an inch on the ground. A lot of the area above 500 feet did get that snow overnight, and now it's starting to turn back over to rain over the city, or to nothing at all. As you can see, there's just a big break in the radar on the west side of town. But if you live on the east side of town in the hills, you're going to continue to see snow. 1,000 feet and higher, it is going to be worse. And so I would not be surprised if we have some more bus delays or some closures for schools. There's still some snow falling in in the Coast Range as well. The snow level fell to around 500 to 600 feet. And right now, as you get into sea level, you're just going to be seeing wet roads, but up higher, there will be some snow on the ground in most locations. Excuse me. Winter weather advisory for the area I just mentioned, 1,000 feet and higher, especially the Cascade foothills and the Cascades, as the snow will continue to fall through about noon. So let's talk about what's ahead for today for us. We're going to continue to see this mix of snow and rain around the area, mostly just rain for us. But if you're in the higher hills, it will likely be some snow falling. Again, it's changing back and forth from rain to snow in the upper elevations above 500 feet. Between 7 a.m. and noon, wet weather only, because it will be warming up enough. Right now, where it's 37, 38 degrees, it will warm up enough to just see rain showers coming through. And then showers will decrease between 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. around our area. And we are again only looking at scattered showers as things dry out late tonight.
Got a new crash to tell you about over on the west side, kind of between the Beaverton and Taggart areas on Shoals Ferry out at 135th. Watch out for a couple of crews responding here. I don't have many details just yet as far as any lanes blocked, but just take it slow if you do have to commute this way anytime soon. Eastbound Powell, it's still blocked. This truck that's been stuck on the eastbound side of the road all morning, it's still there blocking all lanes as you head out toward 205. But inbound approaching Ross Island, all those lanes are back open, but you will see just a little bit of slowing coming through that inbound stretch. Mike Warner showing us some of the snowy conditions over on the west side in our Chevy Equinox live drive. Mike, you just came up westbound Burnside here.
Yeah, and as it turns into skyline, it's so bright right now. The picture is bright because it's very foggy up here, but the conditions up here on the West Hills have improved. The snow was covering the road when I was up here about an hour or so ago, and now that snow is gone. I've seen a couple of plows and some de-icers up here, so it's clearly done the job to clear this road, but there's still some snow, as you can see. It's kind of treacherous up here, so be careful if you're driving this way.
Okay, thanks for the update there, Mike.
And a reminder, we're running school closures and delays at the bottom of the screen, and they're also at KATU.com. It's 6:11 now. A local architecture firm has come up with some pretty grand plans for the area surrounding Union Station. Coming up, a closer look at their vision for the Broadway corridor.
But first, all week long, K2 is on your side, helping you get back on track with your New Year's resolutions. The simple things you can do right now if your goal is to stress a little less.
Hey everybody, I'm Wesley Ogle live in Lake Oswego. You want to take Valentine's Day to new heights? How about getting a rose that could be as tall as your sweetheart? Coming up, we're going to show you other ways to make today special.